Trying to put more distance between him and Peyton and Brady, top the all-time touchdown pass list. Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry and Kareem Hunt. Either the guys are going to lead the Browns forward or the come-get-me gang, depending on who you are hearing or believing or reading. I mean, after all the drama in the Metroplex, it comes down to this. Win in Philly, they're in. Print playoff tickets. Jones Mahal has a playoff game. But, of course, the Eagles have other designs. Mike Garafolo, take it away.
Rich, we've heard plenty about Greg Ward, the Eagles wide receiver who caught the game-winning touchdown last week against the Redskins. Involved in 16 transactions with the Eagles. Signed, released, practice squad, active roster, even a stint in the AAF involved there. And at one point, his agent, Scott Casterline, said to Ward, "Do you want me to get you out of there? Do you want me to send you somewhere else for a fresh start?" And Ward told him no, because if I make it in this league, and I will, it is going to be with the Eagles. When I talked to Ward the other day, he said he just loves the organization, loves the city, and he loves the fact that now he finally has a role with this team, has a chance to get them into the postseason with another solid performance today against the Cowboys. Now to Jane Slater, who's right over there.
Well, Mike, if the Eagles decide to go with that run game, they're going to need their linebackers to step up. They, of course, have been thin at the position. But we saw a vintage performance from Sean Lee against the Rams last weekend. And when you consider what Miles Sanders did against the Redskins, they're really going to need to shore up that position. We learned that Sean Lee has a secret sauce this season. This week we learned that he mixes black coffee with a little bit of water on the sidelines and sips it during the game, which is pretty wild. We found out about that when Antoine Woods accidentally drank it. He says he's going to heavily label it this week. As for the quarterback position, Dak Prescott finally got some throwing in on Friday. I'm told that they're expecting him to be just fine today, but he will not wear any added protection to help him with that shoulder. He's just going to expect his teammates to keep him clean. For more on those guys quarterbacking the offense, check this out.
It's Cowboys, it's Eagles, it's for the division lead.
Two rookie quarterbacks,
Wentz and Prescott.
Prescott, touchdown, Cowboys win!
That's so fun today, huh? Why not?
Wentz, he's got a touchdown! This is a blowout.
There's a lot at stake. It's a must-win game.
Fire is complete. The Cowboys never took their foot off the pedal.
When I was a little boy and dreamed about being a quarterback, these are the situations you thought about being in.
This is what the kids dreamt about his entire life.
This is our division. We ain't gone anywhere.
We're going to be watching these quarterbacks duel it out for a long time.
There you go. Head-to-head, Wentz has only beaten Dak Prescott and the Cowboys once. As we all know, Carson Wentz has not been healthy, and it's game day morning presented by Lowe's, hour number 3 here on the show. And Santa Mooch has visited, in case you missed it. My new favorite T-shirt, Santa Mooch gave to Michael Irvin, which is you.
Right here.
The crying Michael.
I think you should wear it, Mike.
Yeah, that's a good T-shirt.
Got my Houdini magic set.
It's good.
To set up a little bit like Michael Jordan crying emoji.
There we go. Also, by the way, to set up this conversation, I received a text from one Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, man.
Who said he texted you, oh, yeah, I'm watching. Don't get shy now, Mr. Leprechaun.
Oh. Yeah.
Hey.
So I told him I would bring that to the people.
You better make that phone call when he sees the Cowboys winning. He only calls me when they're losing. He only hits me, man. My phone never rings when they're winning. I just want him to know. I'm waiting on that call today.
Game on the line. Game on the line
Game
today.
on the line.
The quarterback you trust the most would be Kurt which?
I'm going with Dak. I mean, we saw the numbers there. Dak throughout his career has been really good in the moment when they need it. Look at the weapons around him. You know, I mean, we keep talking about it with Carson Wentz. I mean, in every facet I say Dak has the advantage. Now, Carson Wentz has been good in the moment this year. We've seen it the last couple weeks. So maybe if it's close, maybe you lean that direction. But I just see too much in Dak's favor that I'm giving the advantage to Dak.
Yeah, and I say Dak also. You know what I find very interesting here as we talk about Carson Wentz, the last couple weeks have had game-winning drives. Back-to-back game-winning drives the last couple weeks. perfect. Did not throw any incompletions in those game-winning drives.
That throw to Ward was a beautiful drive. He dropped that in beautifully.
Beautiful. He really is. And then he has 3 this season, but he has 5 total. When you say game on the line, my mind goes to, hey, I need that last drive. Dak Prescott has 14 in his career right now. What's that mean?
0 this year.
0 this year. That's why I say in his career. In his career.
I was bringing it to the people.
All right,
I'm just completing the story.
I don't need you to help me with my numbers.
Completing the story.
I don't need you to help me with my numbers. He has 14. I'm taking Dak with game on the line because of that 14.
Okay. I'm going to take Dak with a caveat. You know what a caveat is?
No, what's that?
Not a cavity, caveat, all right? Because Dak, he's playing, he's got the index finger fractured, he's got the shoulder, he's got some injuries, right? He's got to toughen it up and play hurt, all right? But he's got all his weapons, Rich. You got all your weapons right here, right? You feel good, you feel whole. The other guy, Carson Wentz, I'm going to tip my hat to that guy. Hasn't been the greatest of seasons for him, but the last couple of weeks, he's playing with guys that were running plays off the cards for the first a couple months of this season, and you know what? He's come from behind to win, found a way to win, found a way to be productive some way, somehow. Yeah, you got Zach Ertz, he's a great player. But Carson Wentz has really proven a lot to me. But you're talking about game online today.
Yes.
Well, I'm going with the guy with all the weapons that are ready to go, you know, and Dak here.
So it's Dak across the board. You know, and I go with whatever weapons are at my disposal, too. Just like some other old over-the-hill Michigan guy, right, Mike?
Listen, I just said, you see how he's straightened up and things are straightening up. All because of the quarterback straightening up.
Mooch, you're first. The Ravens have won 7 games by double digits. What about today in Cleveland?
Not today.
Oh, Kurt, the Colts and Panthers have combined for 45 points per game. What about today in their game?
45? I'll say just a titch more.
Michael, Steelers and Jets have combined for 37 points per game. What about that contest?
Just a titch less.
The Lions and Broncos have combined for 38 points per game. Steve, what about today?
We're doing titches today less.
Yeah. Kurt, 10 of the Seahawks' 11 wins this season have been by 1 possession. What about later on today against the Cardinals? More than 8 or less?
I'm going to say less than 8.
Okay. Michael, Adrian Peterson needs a single rushing touchdown to break a tie with Walter Payton for 4th most all-time. Will he get it today against the Giants?
Congratulations, Adrian.
Okay, Mooch. Patrick, the Patrol, needs 13 passing yards to break Kurt's record and smash it for fastest to 9,000 in a career. Will he do it on his first completion tonight?
No, don't do it. He's a sensitive guy. Don't do it, Patrick.
He's not going to do
Kurt,
it. Kurt,
who's got more rushing yards today? James Conner or Le'Veon Bell?
James Conner.
All right. And Michael Thomas needs 11 receptions to break Marvin Harrison's single-season NFL record. Will he have it today?
As Coach said, he will smash it.
All right, there we go. We went into overtime right there in our team.
Yes.
We called timeout. Tarps coming off in Tennessee. A very alliterative. Has a big leg up. Certainly, if it's the Cowboys, they clinch, Jane Slater.
Yeah, Rich, we've talked this morning about the obvious disadvantage the Cowboys have with Dak Prescott having that sprain in his throwing shoulder, and he finally got some throwing in on Friday. But let's talk about the advantage they have in their run game. Last week, we saw Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard put up a combined 300 yards of total offense. Now, when I caught up with Ezekiel Elliott in the locker room and asked him about the Pollard addition, he says it's been great. It's lightened his workload. He said this time last year, he could barely walk. He said, I felt really bad. I was walking around like an old man. You know, when you talk about this Cowboys team, they're 5-0 against the Eagles when Ezekiel Elliott is on the field, and they're also 5-0 when they put up at least 130 yards rushing. Rich?
Well, Jane, I mean, what a season it's been from the Cabo San Lucas stay and stint of Zeke Elliott, and then there's more pie, there's less pie, there's a lot of pie. How much pie is left? I'm chopping up the pie. 3-0 start, after which the Cowboys lose 7 of their next 11 to go 7-7, in which there was a 3-game losing streak where we have to just win a damn game, and the owner was, you know, too tired to jack around with radio hosts and doesn't have hand cramps signing. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. And yet, all it comes down to just win today in Philadelphia, and they can print a home playoff ticket, and who knows? Got to answer the question at the bottom of the screen, though. Have they solved everything? Have they solved their issues? Michael Irvin.
And I like the way you asked, Rich, because you said everything. That means it implies that there were more than one issue. It was issues, and it was. It was, and they worked on solving them all last week. Now, can they continue to have them solved in each game as they move forward. And I talked about it earlier. They got back to the run. That was the number one thing. But not only getting back to the run, you had to get back to stopping the run. And that's exactly what they did. 22 yards rushing. They held Todd Gurley to only 20 yards rushing. You watch Dalvin Cook. You watch A.A. run from Green Bay, run all over this.